Constitution states that we have three equal branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. But that is not true. We have two branches, the executive and legislative, that have a few rules that those members have to follow. In the executive branch, even the head of the government, the president, can be removed by impeachment or forced to resign, like Richard Nixon. In the legislative branch, we've witnessed speakers of the House being vacated or basically being voted out of office by their colleagues. In the judicial branch, of which the head is the Supreme Court, they basically have no rules. The last Supreme Court justice to be impeached was in 1805. The Supreme Court justices, I call them the nine God or the nine-headed God. They don't have any ethics rules. They don't have any rules about behavior. So basically, they are unchecked. They serve for life and can only be removed outside of impeachment by voluntary retirement or involuntarily by death, which happens often. So the Supreme Court is unequal. It's above all other branches of government. They actually can legislate from the bench, which they often do. They can determine your standard of living, your freedoms, what you can and can't do. And they can even set rules for the legislative branch and the executive branch that they can embed in their rulings, such as telling them how they have to deal with a certain situation, which is what they did when they looked at the issue of possibly removing former President Trump from the ballot for insurrection. They told Congress how they would have to rule on such a thing. So the only thing governing a Supreme Court justice behavior is her own internal moral compass and internal sense of ethics. And if you get Supreme Court justices that have a faulty moral compass or faulty sense of ethics, then they can put themselves up for sale. They can be blatantly political. They can display symbols that indicate their political leanings. Nothing is off limits. So we are under the control of the nine-headed God, otherwise known as the Supreme Court of the United States.